Welcome back to Learn with Chris. I'm Chris. So today we're going to continue with TOEIC, but we're moving on from the listening to the reading. So part 5 of the TOEIC test starts the reading section, and it's called incomplete sentences. So for this part of the test, you'll have 30 questions. You'll have a sentence, and there'll be a missing word. And then you have to pick between 4 answers, A, B, C, D, put it into the blank. Now, this part of the test mostly has grammar questions, but it also has some vocabulary questions as well. I will make several videos on different types of tips related to grammar and vocabulary to help you do better for this part of the test. Today, we're going to look at something called word family questions. So as an example, we have this word nation. If you add an AL to it, you get the word national. And then if you add IZE, you get the word nationalize. Or if you add ITY, you get the word nationality. So these are all in the same family. The root word is nation. And what we're adding to the end of these words, AL, IZE, ITY, are called suffixes. And what a suffix does, it changes a word from one part of speech into another. So it might change a noun into an adjective, or into an adverb, or into a verb. And that's what this part of the test will check. Do you understand word families? Do you understand suffixes? So let's have a look at an example question here. The manager was satisfied with the blank of the project. If you look at the answers, complete, completely, completion, and completing. So this is a word family question. How do you answer it? Well, you need to identify 2 things. First, what are the A, B, C, D, what type of words are they? So for example, complete is it's an adjective. Completely is an adverb. Completion is a noun. And completing would be a verb. So which one do you need for the answer? Well, the manager was satisfied with the blank. Article the. We put articles before nouns. So we have to pick the noun for the answer. And as I said, completion is a noun. So C is the answer. How do you know completion is a noun? Well, it ends in ION. ION is a noun suffix. So I'm going to put on the screen a bunch of different noun suffixes, adjective suffixes, adverb suffixes, and verb suffixes. It's a lot to remember, but this is how you need to think about when you're doing the test. You need to think about, okay, what do I need in the question? Do I need a verb? Do I need a noun? Do I need an adjective? And once you identify what you need, then you look at the suffixes and pick the right word. Okay, so here we see some noun suffixes. ION, as I mentioned, completion, education. MENT, enjoyment, betterment. NIS, happiness, darkness. ITY, reality. ANCE, performance. Hood, childhood, parenthood. Ship, friendship, relationship. Ism, capitalism, optimism, and so on. These are all nouns. So let's move on to adjective suffixes. IBLE, reliable. AL, natural or national. OUS, dangerous. Full, helpful, careful, less, careless. IVE, creative, ick, heroic, logical, ant, important, ish, childish or foolish. So these are all examples of adjectives. Now, there's a lot of nouns and there's a lot of adjectives for suffixes, but there's a lot less for adverbs and for verbs. So let's look at the adverbs. ly, quickly, carefully, stupidly. ly. Probably 95% of adverbs end in ly, so they're pretty easy to identify. Wise, clockwise, like the hands on the clock will move clockwise or counterclockwise. And then word, backward, upward, forward. So that's another example of an adverb suffix. There's not very many. And for verbs, ize, criticize, nationalize, ify, simplify, en, strengthen, and ate, communicate. These are all verbs. Okay, so it's a lot to remember, but there's a list for you to look at. Now, we're going to get some examples. So I'm going to put some questions on the screen, and I'll give you a minute to think about it, and then I will tell you the answers. So let's look at question number 1. The manager needs to blank the project plan by the end of the week. A, reviews, B, review, C, reviewed, and D, reviewer. From the sentence, I know that I need a verb. How do I know I need a verb? Because the manager needs to do something. Infinitive verb. Anytime we have to, it will be followed by a verb. So we need a verb. So, A, reviews. Is that a verb? Could be, but there's a problem with the S, which we will, well, basically, anytime we have infinitive verb, to plus verb, you don't put an S onto it. So it can't be reviews. Even if reviews is a verb, it won't be the correct answer because of the S. B, review. Review is a verb. The manager needs to review. So that sounds good, but let's look at the other ones. Reviewed, ed, that could be a past tense verb, but if we look at the rest of the sentence, by the end of the week, that means future. So C will be wrong because it's past verb, not future. And then reviewer, ER are people, like teacher, reviewer. So that's wrong because that's a noun. People are nouns. So the answer is going to be B, to review. Another example, question 2. She is a very blank worker and completes her task efficiently. A, dedication. B, dedicate. C, dedicated. And D, dedicating. Okay, so what do we need? Well, she is a very blank worker. Worker is a noun. What do we put before nouns? Well, if we want to describe the noun, we put an adjective before the nouns, like a tall man or an old woman, right? So adjectives describe the noun. So we're looking for an adjective. Dedication is a noun, I-O-N, that's wrong. Dedicate, A-T-E, is a verb, that is wrong. Dedicated, that is an adjective. And ing could be an adjective, but it could also be a verb. Now, dedicated worker, not a dedicating worker. So dedicated is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, so C is the answer for this one. Question 3. The team worked blank to finish the project before the deadline. A, quick. B, quicker. C, quickness. D, quickly. The team worked. Worked is a verb. What do we put after verbs? Well, how did they work? Adverbs. Adverbs can go after verbs. So, quick is an adjective, not an adverb, so that's wrong. Quicker is a comparative adjective, also wrong. Quickness, N-E-S-S, is a noun, so that's wrong. So the answer must be D. Quickly and L-Y are adverbs, so D is the answer. And our last example, question 4. The manager looked blank at the unexpected results of the project. A, suspicion. B, suspicious. C, suspiciously. D, more suspicious. Now, this is a key point here. Even if you don't know what suspicion means, maybe you don't know the word, hopefully you can still get the answer. So for example, the manager looked. Looked is a verb. How did he look? He looked at it in a certain way. We need an adverb. So adverbs tell us how people do the verb. How did he look at the unexpected results? That's the adverb. So we just have to pick the adverb, even if we don't understand what the word means, suspicion. I-O-N, that's a noun. O-U-S, that's an adjective. C, suspiciously, that's an adverb. That's the answer. And more suspicious would be a comparative adjective, which is not correct. So the answer is C. Okay, so to recap, when you see the answers A, B, C, D, and they all look the same, complete, completely, completion, completing, that means they are word family questions. And for word family questions, you have to do two things. One, you have to identify what do I need to complete the answer. Do I need a noun? Do I need a verb? Do I need an adjective? And you have to understand grammar a little bit to know what you need. And then look at the endings, the suffixes, to say, well, oh, that's a verb, that's an adjective, and then pick the right answer. So, in future videos, we will look at other examples for Part 5 incomplete sentences for the reading test. So, I hope this class was useful for you. Have a good night. Please subscribe and comment below. Take care.